Hello, the third, gonna restart. Hello, the next hand we're going to draw is one kind of in action where it's holding something. So that means that the fingers are mainly blocking the view of the palm. So I have the construction drawing here, and if I turn all that off and then we just look at the hand by itself, the fingers are like the main view of this. So we just want to still think about the palm and how it's kind of like which way the box is facing, but the main drawing is going to be in the fingers. So I'm going to do the envelope shape. Again, the envelope shape is going to be the main shape of all the angles of the hand. So very roughly it would be something like that is the envelope shape. I'm going to use my gauging lines. So there's my envelope shape for that hand, and I'm going to go back, I'm going to go in the envelope shape and do the block in. So the block in focuses on the negative shape of all the things, and then a little bit of the contour as well. Just the contour that's important, so we don't really want to put in too many curves of things. And I always like to break down if I do have a curve that I need to put in, I always like to break it down to as many straight lines as possible that are going to be informative. So the knuckle, for example, is a curve. I'm just going to draw it as like 3 to 4 lines there. And then the middle finger is the middle of the hand, so I'm going to kind of put that arch in here to here. So I'm running it through the center of that finger there to kind of help gauge where's the half of that hand, even though it's not like perfectly half. So I'm going to think about the thickness between the middle finger and that ring finger. How wide is that space there? I'm going to draw through it, thinking about how the thumb's kind of wrapping. And then the pinky's over here. And if the envelope shape is hard for you to kind of visualize and correctly line up with the contour of everything, just know that the more you draw, the more accurate it'll kind of eventually move into each other. So I'm going to block in now a little bit of the contour of the pinky. I tend to jump around a lot when I'm drawing, and I tend to do this so that everything's accurate, kind of building up at the same speed. I know it could be kind of overwhelming sometimes to follow, but I think it kind of sets up the drawing a bit better than just really figuring out one finger and then kind of going down like that. I think this way's a bit more foolproof. So now I'm going to figure out, this is the shadow side I blocked in first. This is where the knuckle's going to go. The knuckle is a sphere, so we want to think about where the spheres are attaching onto the top of that plane. So this bump then is incorrect. I'll start to block in the two value statement. So I want to think about how long is this light shape compared to how short that dark shape is, and I want to make sure that they line up okay. So it's really trying to zoom out, step back. If you guys draw digitally, you always see digital artists kind of pinching their work so the canvas zooms out. It's a bit harder to do that when you're drawing traditionally though, it's not as easy, but you really have to think about zooming back and stepping back and making sure that everything's going, agreeing with each other. So I put a little bit more of a contour in now for that part. Think again about how this is going to have a tilt to it. The light shapes. How tall is this dark shape here? Again, I'm thinking of how this is going to be the round part of the finger. I can put a little bit more, I'm kind of working visually, just up, light, dark, but if I stop for a second, go back to construction, this is going to be the contour of that pinky, this will be the round part of the knuckle, this will be the foreshortening part. If I go up to the ring finger here, this is going to be the flat side of that plane, this is going to be the flat side of the other plane. Right in the middle here, this is going to be the contour of the ring finger. And then again, you want to think about how the nail bed is a little bit lower of a height than the rest of the finger. I can see that right here on the ring finger nail bed. And then my middle finger's contour does match up with where I was putting the two value statement. So that is good. And this is the boxy shape for the pointer finger there. I'm going to go and put the two value statement on it. I'm going to round this edge of the two value statement because again the knuckles have a more spherical shape, so I always want to think about them like spheres. I'm not going to put in that thumb here. I just don't think it looks nice. So I'm not going to put it in. And it's not out of laziness or that I don't want to draw it. I just visually don't think it's really helping the hand. Like if it was there or not there, it wouldn't really add anything to the piece. And I think if I did have it, it would be more confusing. So that's some artistic freedom I'm using. Just remember that you're always allowed to edit things out if they don't make sense, but you can't do it out of laziness. Oh, and then I think for this one I'll put in the fork, because I think the fork's kind of fun. So you want to make sure that it weaves through the fingers correctly. So like, right, it's going to start there, and it has to go through, hit the finger pad of the pointer finger, run over the side, the front side of the middle finger, having a little bit showing on this side. There's some negative space between the fork and the ring finger there. And then don't worry too much about the blocking of the fork, just put something quick in. And then when I shade, it's going to be very important because some parts of the fork are going to be light and some parts are going to be dark. That's partly because of the cast shadows happening, and that's partly because of the reflected light, and it's partly because of this form shadow of the fork. So the fork has a thickness to it. Okay, so I'm going to put in my shadows. That would be a very quick block in shadow shape drawing for the hand. I can always go back and edit things, make things more clear. To continue this drawing, again, to like separate out the forms, I could kind of smooth things out. I could soften edges, so like this edge would be really soft over here. So this is a form shadow. So this one will be really, really soft. And then on the opposite side is a cast shadow from the ring finger. So then this would be a harsh shadow here. So playing with the different edges of the harsh, the hard, and the soft is really going to make that hand and parts of it feel more realistic. So cast shadows generally have more of a harder edge, and form shadows have a softer edge. And then form shadows you have to add in the core shadow. There's a ton of reflected light going on right here in the drawing. And then again, you can also kind of separate out the contours by different areas, being light and dark. So if I just smooth all this out really quick. This would be dark right here on the inside of the palm, up until the reflected light starts. And then this would kind of outline the contour of that pinky, all still being very dark though. And then again, over here, we have a little bit more, we have a form shadow, so it's gonna be really, really soft over here on this side. And then this would go back to being a harsh cast shadow. So there's this pattern going on where it's like harsh, or soft, harsh, going all the way up the fingers. Thank you guys.